Welcome back, everyone. Tonight we're stepping into level 3. It is one of the most atmospheric, unsettling, and diverse sections of the entire labyrinth. This level is where the game stops feeling like a dungeon and begins feeling like another world. A patchwork of memories and nightmares stitched together by something ancient below us. So, let's wander in and descend into the swamp. Level 3 opens at the edge of a murky abyss. Below you is a swamp drenched in permanent gloom. The kind of place where the air doesn't just sit around you, it clings to you, crawls up your skin, and sinks into your bones. As you wade into the water, it sucks at your boots. Croaking frogs echo endlessly, creating a strange, almost musical rhythm across this wet expanse. The trees here look wrong. They're twisted, lifeless, branches shaped like claws reaching for you, like the swamp itself isn't sure whether it wants to trap you or welcome you. And through it all, that feeling hits, the sensation of eyes watching you from just behind the dark surface. Swamp is the first test of this level. Can you keep steady when the ground beneath you isn't steady at all? Flashes of light creaking platforms in the cabin. As you push through tangled brush, flashes of light flicker deep within the swamp. They're brief, just long enough to get your heart pounding, like something is signaling to you or warning you away. Then you reach that wooden platform, barely holding together. Every step feels like it might crash through into the dark water. Then the cabin emerges. It's crooked, warped by humidity and age. The doors creak open. What greets you inside is pure ruin. Rooms abandoned midlife. Everything stripped or rotting away. A bare floor, cold walls, and a natural chill. Something happened here. Something is still happening. And then you see the fire pit outside, its ashes too fresh. Someone has been here. Someone might still be nearby. That's when the massive toad rises from the swamp, one of the earliest boss-scale creatures of this level. Its hungry eyes tell you everything. You stepped onto its territory. Bones, dead hands, and flashing swamps. As you push onward, the ground becomes thick with bones, little ones, big ones, cracked ones. The island is a grave mound pretending to be land. Bright flashes erupt again across the swamp, and then skeletal arms burst from the water, grabbing blindly, desperately pulling together anything alive. This moment is meant to feel like the labyrinth testing you. Whether you freeze, fight, or flee, sometimes survival is just waiting around without looking back. Far across the marsh, a thin column of smoke twists into the sky. At its base sits an old hermit resting beside his fire. Warm, silent, crab traps stacked nearby. He's one of the last living souls in the swamp. And he doesn't say much. He doesn't have to. His presence is the story. People survive here. Not comfortably, not forever, but long enough to leave echoes. Nearby stands an ancient altar, its surface weathered by time. This is our first hint that level 3 is more than a region, it's a threshold. Something worshipped here once. Something was fed here once upon a time. Eventually, the swamp thins, and we find ourselves within a world that shifts. Golden wheat rises to your knees, swaying in a gentle wind that should feel peaceful, yet it doesn't. This entire farm feels abandoned mid-breath. The farmhouse is quietly in the distance. As you crawl through the wheat, wings explode overhead. Frantic rush that sends you diving into the ground. It's one of the labyrinth's little traps, using sound to keep you uneasy. Inside the farmhouse is a small kitchen, simple, clean, too clean for a place left alone. Bedroom with a single bed and dresser suggests someone still lives here, or lived here recently. Then seated in a chair, a farmer greets you, reading a book. He's calm, too calm for a world he thinks he's stuck inside. He becomes one of the most strangely comforting characters of this place. Not dangerous, not haunted, just a man holding on to routine against a world crumbling around him. Once you leave the farm, the tone shifts hard. Again, wind howls along the derelict path. The cave moves open before you, cold air spilling out like a warning. Inside, the walls shine with a slick film, something biological, something growing. Then you hear it, that clanging, something striking the walls repeatedly, rhythmically. This is where level 3 leaves behind nature and slips into the next nightmare, the world beneath the world. Spiderwebs spread over the walls, thick, sticky, undisturbed. The deeper you go, the more the air thickens, the more the silence presses at your ears. The webs turn to bridges, drawn across wide chasms. Travelers' remains lie tangled within them, their stories ended mid-struggle. Cries begin, echoing from ahead, someone begging for mercy, someone still alive or pretending to be. And you see the cocoons, too many, some torn open, some lay still, and one hanging at eye level with a faint rustle inside. This is the moment most players hesitate, and it's good. You're supposed to. The deep chambers in the body that falls, the cave grows hotter as you descend. The cries of unknown things echoes from ahead. Spider webs drape the ceiling like curtains in a funeral hall. A hiss cuts through the dark. Something moves. A blur streaks past you. Then suddenly, a body drops from the ceiling right in front of you. A sickening thud, a reminder of whatever lives here does not play with its food. The floor becomes littered with bones again, some small, some human. Beating of a drum echoes through a distant corridor, not musical, not ceremonial, more like a signal, a warning, or a summons. Here you find one of the strangest rooms of the entire level, an altar built from scrap pieces of wood, crude bed, stone walls, and a priest seated quietly in a simple chair. A single effigy hangs from the ceiling, a grotesque figure meant to resemble a holy spirit, a twisted god of the cave dwellers. This isn't a sanctuary, it's a survival bunker. Faith distorted by fear. This moment is meant to raise questions. Do people worship the spiders, or worship to protect themselves from them? The game does not answer this. Not yet, anyways. The watching eyes in the final descent, you leave the priest behind, follow the sloping tunnels deeper. Each step feels like a risk as the ground tries to slide you towards the abyss. Dead ends appear, refused chambers, pile with trash, clothes, crates, discarded hopes. And the world opens to stop two pillars, old, weathered, guarding the threshold of something greater. This is the level. This is where it all ends. A gateway into a deeper chaos, a realm that waits beneath the webs, the bones, the swamp, and the farms. A place the labyrinth does not show lightly. You're surprised that you survived this level, but now you're entering the places built for no one to survive. If you enjoy this dive into level 3 and want to explore it firsthand, you can download the game free here. Link in the description below. If you want to support the game on Patreon, you can. Link in the description below. Thank you for journeying with me into the swamp, the farm, and the webs. Next time we step into a realm older than the soil, older than bones, older than the labyrinth itself. Until next time.